What's up guys, it's Drac, and I've been bamboozled, swindled, lied to even. So this was advertised to me and like came through by, I consume a lot of Nerf content, which means the internet gives me a lot of ads for Nerf things. So in particular, when I'm like working on Alibaba or whatever for the web store, I get ads for interesting Nerf things, such as Glock power. Oh, all right. So it says science and education mode, which is a fun little way to justify what this is inside. So what it is a blatant copyright violation. You've got a magazine. You've got shells that they didn't even bother to take off of the mold, which is a little hurtful in some ways. You have silencer for superior performance. And I can't make this up. They're advertising that it's a suppressor for 5.56. What is the 5.56 Glock is going on? And then of course, you get this and a sexy little tray of Nerf bullets. This is the Nerf bullets that were advertised to me, where again, you don't even get the courtesy of like them even pretending to be Nerf foam. It's heckin' like open cell foam with a rubber plastic tip thing. These are some of the smallest quote unquote foam darts I've ever seen. They're, you know, smaller than a 9mm, so they don't even really make sense in that regard. But then you've got the brass, so to speak, casings here, and I can pull them out of this. It feels like I'm doing Gunpla. Or Zoids. Did you guys ever make Zoids? I felt like the Zoids kits were way better than the Zoids anime. TBH, but set that aside, punch out enough of these that we're gonna load it all the way, baby. We're gonna get superior performance. So then we can go ahead and tease these tiny, they actually have okay Springer fit, but unless you have the world's smallest fingies, you can't get them to seat up against the shell like this. So I'm using my knife. And everything about this thing is just completely hilariously laughable. It violates lots of trademarks, lots of copyrights, I'm assuming. There's nothing Nerf about it, despite the way that it was advertised. It, I guess, comes with 10 of the custom quote-unquote darts, which haven't been adequately removed from their source material, so that you can load up all 8 of your rounds. And again, I can't think of an 8-round Glock necessarily, but this has like all the original Glock markings except for the hard ones. This is like reflective tape so that people will believe it's, I don't know, it looks more like a Christmas tinsel than it does anything else. Then you've got an anodized heckin' plastic slide over here where it says Glock 18 Austria on one side, using the actual Glock logo here and inside the stippling down here for... Man, how come this can have a retractable slide, but like Hasbro stuff can't? This is good. We've got flash plastic on the barrel there that I'm gonna have to ream off now because it's clear that the quality control of this product is non-existent. So let's go ahead. We're gonna load up our magazine with our shells. I wonder if it has an extractor. Do you guys think it'll give me real shell eject action? After all, it should for science and education mode. So I guess the part that I'm embarrassed about is I think I spent like $30 on this thing, which looks like the kind of cheap kitschy nonsense you would get from a gas station. Okay, so I managed to slam that home, and there is a spring-assisted magazine release. So truly, we're right where we want to be for science and education mode. So then that'll pull up, and it didn't. That's a failure to chamber, but if I hit it right, maybe it'll... No, something is horribly wrong. Okay, I got it to seat this time. Let's go ahead and fire our Glock power. And then rack. Sweet, sweet Asmar. And then that time the slide spring forward. I guess we'll put it over the chronograph. These are the world's tiniest darts. Like, they're cheap, they're kitschy. You have to remove them all from the material they ship in yourself. Like, I mean, look at this. Look at how tiny this dart is. This is unreal. Unbelievable that this product is legal to sell on Amazon. There's no slide release, obviously. The magazine is, I mean, the ejector works. I don't know, let's take it outside. Let's put it over the chronograph. Let's evaluate it for its merits. All right, guys, so we're out here with the Nerf Glock. And Jinx is expressing the proper amount of concern. First off, I owe an apology to whatever company ripped off Glock's IP. This is not a silencer, not a 5.56 silencer. No, certainly not. It is, in fact, a silenger. You can't make this stuff up. It's too funny. So I actually don't know. Boba was messing with this earlier. If he left me one in the chamber, he did not. All right, so we'll go ahead and get that in there. Turn on our chronograph, see what kind of... Okay, I racked it too hard, and that's on me, but I think I got it to find its way into the chamber. Now, let's put one over. Of course, we should take off our silenger as we are outside and have no need of it. Is that correct? Is that 81? All right, well, let's show you guys that we're truly an operator, right? We've got full-on tactical status by racking and catching our hot brass. You're welcome, internet. It did lead to a failure to chamber properly, but that's okay. That's okay. You get style points. So let's see, how does it handle the classic taste of vanilla Coke? It doesn't. That's an old failure to fire right there. So who knows what's going on? We've got multiple brass casings just flying out all over the place. There's one. Nothing in the chamber. Go ahead and put it back in. Rack and bang. Honestly, could be worse. So with that said, let's get some sweet shell ejecting action for you. And thumbnail. All right, and then we'll rack it back. And we're gonna have to pull this way in. I actually don't have my drill right now, but we're gonna yank the zip target in the hopes that we can hit, we'll say, you know, 20 feet here would be relatively acceptable. So shooter ready and fired a little low, guys. And the ranges are gonna be pretty poor, it appears. All right, final shot and, well, we're just gonna have to blame that one on the wind. So obviously this is not a safe toy, it's not a smart toy. You should not take this to your local Nerf battle. The projectiles are too small to see anyway. The brass casings would litter everywhere. It's just remarkable to me that this was marketed as a Nerf toy, and I can't wholeheartedly endorse it in any way, shape, or form. The FPS readings are very surprising. Actually, it's interesting that a knockoff Glock violating IP hits harder than any elite blaster that's been produced in the last years. But it's certainly funky for education and fun. It has a lot of different things going for it, from its shell eject system to the fact that it actually does achieve a breech fit and fire the craft foam effectively rounds with reasonable velocity. They're not accurate, to say the least, but it is a funky real steel allegory that certainly has no place in the hobby, but was an interesting little foam flinging review. If you guys like funky things like this, I'll continue to pick them up when I see the crazy, like unbelievably surreal ads for them. And if you think that this was, you know, a huge waste of the channel's time and money, then at least we'd be in agreement on something. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, much love. Glock out, Drac on something. Drac shouldn't buy cheap Chinese knockoffs anymore.